This evening, as we close, we want to honor two long-serving faithful leaders of the church. The definite stop retirement of one at the same time as myself, and the other, this gradual scaling back of schedule with full retirement pending upon position replacement, but we don't want to miss out on this opportunity to honor this servant at this convention. Before I bring them up, just so you know, there is a reception following out in the atrium tonight. There will be a place, kind of a station, where we want you to be able to stop by and greet Paul and Teresa Saboti and thank them for their service. I also want to say that you are going to see other pastors, ministers of the gospel, missionaries out there who are retired. And we didn't make funny hats for them or identify them with, ribbons or anything. But as you see those, I'm not talking about myself, but as you see those who have served, thank them as well. There'll be a second station there of people who are definitely not retired, but we want to honor and welcome guests that you'll hear from more tomorrow. Our brothers from our sister Japanese Lutheran Brethren Church with us here at this convention. We're so grateful for Pastor Harya Ito and Pastor Yusefu Kaneta, pastors in Ishinomaka and pastor in Akita, and also the president of our seminary. As I said, you'll hear from them tomorrow, but together with their host, Brother Dean, they're a place for you to greet them in the atrium as well. And then these two servants that I call up now to join me, Associate for Advancement Ministries, Steve Tonneson, who served the CLB, come on up, Steve, in that role for the past 10 years. And again, scaling back hours, giving some months to the next administration in transition as the new finance director sought, LaWayne Rogness, who has served as Director of Finance and Personnel. Why don't you guys be here on my left and let me look over at you while I say a couple of nice things about you. It won't be hard. Join me here. Let me see you. And to make it short, I'm just going to read for you a little excerpt of what are in these cards for Steve and LaWayne. And this is part of what I wrote to them on your behalf. First, to our brother, colleague, and friend Steve, how we thank God for you for this decade of dedicated work, ownership, and love of our CLB mission, your care and enjoyment of just God's people, your constancy and leadership in the ministry of prayer, something you weren't even called to, but you have led us in prayer, and the great fruitfulness of creating and flourishing a CLB advancement ministry. You believed from the start, Steve, what you and I covenanted together with our mission team and pursued. And that was not a bottom line of numbers, but the goal of mission partnership by means of relationship. Thank you, Steve. My colleague and friend, yes. And to my colleague and friend LaWayne, I actually put 3 things in your card. I'm only going to read 2, and I'll tell you why at the end. But as my role ends, and in due time yours begins to wrap up, your sons kind of told me, can you move them along? Can you help, Dad? Kind of get to the finish line here. Well, I want to say 3 things. First of all, LaWayne, get her done, right? It's hard to find a specific Bible verse that says get her done, but the Old Testament character, Caleb, comes to mind. Numbers 13:30 says, Caleb quieted the people and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for certainly we can do it. In other words, if God is leading us, let's go. Get her done. That might not be common of every finance director. But for you also, the bottom line has never been numbers, but ministry and souls. The second thing I want to share, and I did in your card, LaWayne, you skipped my last staff devotions this last week. It's okay, you were doing church work. But I just want to point out to you what I gave the rest of the staff, and that is Jesus clearly lays out in John 15. We sang about it tonight, and I cried. John 15 shows us this order, even maybe a bit of a hierarchy. There is the vine, definitely, from which come the branches. And this is not about me as the vine. Jesus is our vine. We are all the branches. So beautiful that in the verses right after, rather remarkably, Jesus moves from that order, hierarchy, vine, branches, and he says, "But I no longer call you servants. Instead, I call you friends." How is it that Jesus says this? How can his friendship, Jesus' friendship with us, be reflected in our ministry connections together? True, good, deep, trusting friendships. It's because of the knowledge and bond of a shared mission that Jesus points to. Jesus says what separates those who merely serve from those who become true friends. In John 15:15, he says, "I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I've called you friends." And LaWayne, you and I are friends. You and Steve are friends. LaWayne is friends with lots of people, many out here, but it is because this bonds us together. We know our master's business. We know our master's business. The third thing, LaWayne, in your card, sorry all of you, it's just a little personal note from one farm boy to another, and we'll just leave it at that, okay? But LaWayne, on behalf of a grateful church, thank you also so very much.